So here are my top 5 advices for when you are in your 20s to benefit from later in life. Number 1, learn to accept and love yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. Actually, you need to make mistakes, because if you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing yourself enough. But when a mistake happens, forgive yourself. It's okay to learn from it, but don't beat yourself up on it every single time. And especially when you're young, you're impatient. You want to move and get things done very fast. Personally, I've been frustrated with myself many times for not being able to accomplish something or accomplishing it fast enough. But it doesn't make any sense. You better invest that energy in things that are future oriented. So when something goes wrong, reflect on it, learn from it, put it in the rear mirror view and look through the windshield. Advice number 2, travel and travel alone. You don't need to have a lot of money to travel abroad and experience what it is to travel alone. Not everybody needs to go on a full year round trip around the world, but make it a priority. When I was in my 20s, I went to Indonesia for a couple of weeks and I learned so many things, and I experienced how it was to be in a new culture and to understand the language. And it also brought me in contact with a lot of people. The thing is, if you travel with people, you will be less inclined to accept an invitation from somebody to go to their home and have dinner with them. But if you're alone, you're more approachable to other people. You also learn how to make decisions, because it's all down to you. When you wake up in the morning, you need to set yourself a plan for the day, and you can't rely on somebody else to do that for you or to do it with you. So I learned a lot from that. And if you're not making a priority in your 20s and you wait for that to happen later in life, I guarantee you that life will happen. You will be in a relationship, you have a certain job with obligations and commitments, or you start a family. So when you're in 20s, travel and travel alone. Advice number 3, your body is your temple. And that doesn't mean you want to trash the place once in a while. I get it that you're in your 20s, you want to experiment with certain foods, alcohol, drugs perhaps. And I'm not advocating for you not to do it, but when you are engaging in, for instance, drinking or doing drugs, I want to ask yourself why you're doing it. Are you doing it for fun? I get that. Are you doing it because you're curious and want to learn from it? Totally understand that as well. But if it's a mean to run away from your problems, think twice. Because yes, drugs and alcohol will change reality in your mind for the occasion, but after the high, the low will be even lower. Reality didn't change. Your problems are still there. So you might want to find professional help dealing with your problems, because your body is your temple and you need to be living in that temple for the rest of your life. So take good care of it. Advice number 4, end relationships that are not working fast. I'm not saying that you should end a relationship when you're encountering the first hurdle, but if you're encountering hurdle after hurdle, don't become an expert and navigate them. End the relationship. Don't expect the other person to change or the situation to change. Time is precious, you need to move on. So that doesn't mean you need to give up easily, but you know when it's time actually to end a relationship. I, in hindsight, had quite some relationships that took a bit too long, and I was either afraid of hurting that person, of being alone. Actually, I was hurting that person by keeping on the relationship, and I actually was alone by being in a relationship I didn't really want to be in. So be honest with yourself and be honest with the other. Give each other the opportunity to move on in life, and if the relationship is not working, end it, and end it fast. Advice number 5. Probably the most important one. Take risks. If you want to be an entrepreneur, go for it. You want to live abroad, do it right away. When I'm in doubt, I'm using the rocking chair exercise. So I envision myself being old, sitting in a rocking chair on my porch and reflecting on a certain challenge. And I rather regret something I did than later on in life regretting something I didn't. And it gave me so much, and it pushed me in so many new experiences that it made me even more, I would say, inclined to take risks, because it brings me a lot. I wanted to live abroad for many years, and like life happened on me, so I postponed it. So when I got the opportunity to live abroad in Spain, I was married back then and my kids were in primary school, we left. And I was managing a team there and I had a vacancy. So I called on this Dutch talent I knew and asked her if she wanted to join my team in Spain. And she doubted. So she reflected and did a lot of thinking. but then took the decision to leave her well-known environment back in the Netherlands with her house and her friends, and she moved to Spain. I tell you, it was not easy. So she had a tough time getting things sorted out, dealing with a lot of challenges that come your way when you want to live abroad. But she persevered, not only in living abroad, but also business-wise. So the results she was producing were just astonishing. And right now she's back in the Netherlands, she's a mom, she's a bit more settled, and she looks back at this chapter in life with pride and a lot of joy. And I'm proud of her actually that she did that. So don't wait with taking risks. When you're in your 20s, go for it. So those were my 5 tips. Look after yourself and look after each other.